The Galactic Academy was a place of steel and stars. Every cadet came there to become something greater, explorers, officers, or heroes of a new human frontier. But for Cadet Aaron Salas, the Academy meant something else. It was the first place that ever made him feel small. Aaron was only 17, with dark hair always falling into his eyes and a quiet way of moving that made people forget he was there. While other cadets bragged about their homeworlds and their tech projects, Aaron spoke little. He had grown up on one of forgotten colonies, a mining moon with red skies and endless dust. He wasn't used to shining floors or perfect uniforms. He still carried a bit of that dust in his heart. The first time people noticed him was the day he arrived with a box. It wasn't much to look at. Old metal, scratched and dented, humming softly like it had something alive inside. He held it carefully as he walked through the docking bay, ignoring the strange looks from others. "Hey, cadet," a voice called. "What's in the box?" "Your lunch." Aaron didn't answer. He walked straight to his room, locked the door, and set the box on his desk. Then he took a slow breath and opened it. Inside was a small creature, gray fur, sleeping soundly, its chest rising and falling in rhythm. Its fur shimmered faintly under the ship's cold lights. It wasn't any known animal from the modern colonies. Its eyes, when it woke, were bright amber, while deep and far too intelligent. "Hey there," Aaron whispered. "You made it." The creature blinked and tilted its head. Its tail twitched once. It didn't bark. It didn't hiss. It just watched him, quiet and calm, like it already understood. Aaron had found it weeks earlier on the mining moon. He was helping clean an old storage vault when he heard a soft cry from beneath a collapsed vent. What he found there wasn't in any database. A small creature trapped in ice. He thawed it, kept it warm, and somehow it lived. The scanners called it unidentified mammal. But Aaron had seen something like it once, in an ancient Earth picture. He remembered the word under the image. Wolf. But that couldn't be true. Wolves were extinct. Humanity had left Earth centuries ago. The animals of old Earth were lost to time and fire. And yet, here one was, alive, breathing, watching him. Aaron named it Ghost, for its pale fur and silent steps. At first, he thought he'd keep it hidden only for a day or two. But soon, he couldn't let it go. Ghost followed him everywhere, quiet as a shadow. It slept under his bunk, ate from his hand, and looked at him with eyes that seemed to remember something older than the stars. Days passed before the Academy noticed. It started with rumors. Someone heard strange scratching in the dorm halls. Someone else saw glowing eyes in the dark. Then came the night when the ship's AI, Vera, made an announcement. Unregistered biological presence detected in Sector B. The entire dorm panicked. Security drones scanned every room. Aaron sat on his bunk, heart pounding, while Ghost hid beneath his blanket, perfectly still. When the search team passed, Aaron whispered, "Good job, buddy." Ghost looked up, and for a moment, Aaron swore he saw a faint light in the creature's eyes, silver and alive. The next day, Aaron tried to act normal, but people stared. His roommate, Jalen, leaned close and said, "You brought something on board, didn't you?" Aaron froze. "What are you talking about?" Jalen smirked. "I heard it. It howled last night. Weirdest sound I've ever heard." "Howl?" Aaron repeated. "Yeah," Jalen said. "Like something from old Earth vids. Creepy." That night, Aaron couldn't sleep. Ghost paced near the door, restless. The ship's engines hummed softly, but under that hum, Aaron could almost hear something else. Faint, distant, like a call in his mind. Then Ghost stopped moving. It lifted its head, ears sharp, and stared at the ceiling. Aaron felt his heart skip. "What is it?" he whispered. Ghost let out a long, low howl, soft, sad, but strong. The sound filled the room, echoing off the walls. The lights flickered. For a heartbeat, Aaron thought he saw something move through the metal walls, a ripple of light, like an unseen signal spreading outward. Moments later, Vera's voice returned. "Warning. Unknown energy wave detected." Aaron stared at Ghost. "What did you just do?" Ghost only looked back, calm, almost proud. The next morning, The instructors called Aaron to the command deck. He walked through cold hallways lined with officers, all whispering. On the main screen, a holo showed data: energy readings, patterns, coordinates. "Cadet Salas," the captain said, "were you in Sector B during last night's event?" "Yes, sir." "Did you bring any biological samples aboard?" Aaron hesitated. Ghost's amber eyes flashed in his memory. "No, sir." He lied. The captain studied him for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. "Very well. But if we find something dangerous, Cadet, we'll know." As Aaron left, the ship's AI whispered through his earpiece, "Aaron, whatever you are hiding, it isn't human." He froze in the corridor, heartbeat racing. In his dorm, Ghost waited by the door, tail still, eyes bright with knowing. And when Aaron knelt beside him, the creature placed one paw on his hand, a silent promise between two beings that should never have met. Outside the window, the stars shimmered, and far away, something howled back. The Galactic Academy was always silent in the early hours, when the stars drifted outside the ship's hull like frozen sparks. But that morning, silence was heavy, too heavy. Whispers followed Cadet Aaron Salas wherever he went. Everyone had heard about the Sector B incident. Power spikes, flickering lights, a sound no sensor could identify. The official report called it a mechanical fault. But the cadets didn't believe that. And when Aaron walked into the mess hall, they stared like he carried the ghost of the event inside him. He kept his eyes down, trays shaking in his hands. Ghost was hidden in his locker back in his dorm, sleeping under a blanket. Aaron had skipped breakfast for him, sneaking bits of ration cubes into his pocket. He told himself no one would notice, but he could feel the ship watching him. The Academy's ship, Solstice, was alive in its own way. Its AI, Vera, was built into every wall, every vent, every light. You couldn't hide from her. She didn't need eyes. She had data. "Cadets, alas!" Her voice whispered to the speakers near the table. "You did not log your biological scans this morning." Aaron froze mid-bite. The entire hall went quiet. He forced a calm voice. "I'll run the scan after class, Vera." "Regulation 14B states all living quarters must be scanned daily," the AI replied softly. "Failure to comply results in disciplinary review." A few cadets laughed. One muttered, "He's doomed." Aaron clenched his fists under the table. "Understood," he said through his teeth. When the voice faded, so did the laughter. But the unease remained. After breakfast, Aaron walked down the main corridor toward command studies. The hall was lined with holos of famous admirals, human and alien, each looking down with silent judgment. He passed a pair of senior cadets whispering, "Did you hear? Command ordered all decks locked last night." Because of the signal? No, because something howled. The word echoed in Aaron's head. He quickened his pace. In the classroom, Instructor Harlan was already lecturing about galactic law, a thin man with sharp eyes and a voice that could cut steel. "Knowledge," he said, "is what keeps the galaxy in order. Ignorance is how it ends." He turned suddenly, eyes landing on Aaron. "Cadet Salas," he said, "you're from a mining colony, yes? Tell me, what happens when people bring old Earth relics into space?" Aaron hesitated. The room went still. "I don't know, sir." The instructor smiled coldly. "They die. Or worse, they disappear. Because Earth relics carry danger. Old DNA. Old programs. Things that don't belong in this age." The word struck like a warning. "Do not forget," Harlan continued, "Earth was sealed for a reason." Aaron swallowed hard. He didn't dare ask what that reason was. After class, he found a quiet corner in the ship's lower deck. There, in the hum of machinery, he opened his wrist console and tried again to scan Ghost's DNA sample. The result flashed red across the screen. "Error, unregistered genetic line. Contact High Command." He frowned. Tried again. Same result. Then below the message, new text appeared for a split second. Too fast to be a normal system output. "Don't let them find him." Aaron's pulse jumped. He looked around, half expecting to see someone standing there. The corridor was empty. Only the low sound of the engines. Was someone watching him? Or was it the ship's AI? That night, he went back to his dorm. Ghost was awake, pacing. The creature seemed nervous, ears twitching toward the walls. "Hey, easy," Aaron whispered, closing the door. "They're just scanners. They can't see you." But Ghost didn't calm. It looked up suddenly and growled, a deep, rumbling sound that Aaron felt more than heard. The lights flickered once, twice, then steadied. A knock at the door. "Cadets, alas!" Came a voice, calm, older, commanding. "Open up. Security inspection." Aaron froze. He glanced at Ghost, who pressed close to the wall, silent again. "Coming," Aaron said quickly. He moved to the door, heartbeat hammering. When it slid open, 2 officers stood outside. One tall human, one alien with pale green skin and silver eyes. "Routine check," the human said. "We detected biosigns unlisted on your scan file." Aaron forced a laugh. Probably a sensor error. Happens all the time. The alien tilted his head. "Sensors don't lie, Cadet. Especially not about living things." Aaron stepped aside as they entered. His room was spotless, bed made, locker sealed. The officer scanned with handheld devices that hummed softly. Aaron stood perfectly still, trying to breathe normal. The scanner passed right over Ghost's hiding place. It blinked yellow for a second, then green. "All clear," the alien said. Aaron almost collapsed in relief. As they turned to leave, the human officer paused. "If you're hiding anything, son, remember, the Academy doesn't forgive secrets, and the galaxy doesn't forgive Earth blood." He left without another word. When the door closed, Aaron felt his knees. Ghost crawled out from under the floor vent. Calm, quiet, but its amber eyes glowed faintly again. Aaron whispered, "How did they not see you?" Ghost didn't answer, but its gaze said enough, as if some power, older than human tech, had cloaked it. Then the ship's AI whispered once more to the speaker, softer this time, almost like a warning. "Cadets, alas, keep your secret. But know this, you're not the only one hiding." The light flickered out. The ship drifted through space, quiet and watching, and far below, in the void between stars, something stirred, something that had been sleeping for centuries. 3 days had passed since the inspection, and still Aaron couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the look in the officer's eyes, that warning about Earth blood. He didn't know what it meant, but he knew one thing for certain. Ghost wasn't safe here. The ship's solstice had changed. People whispered in corners. Rumors spread faster than light. Some said a creature had entered the ventilation system. Others said a cadet was working with alien spies. Aaron heard it all and said nothing. He only focused on Ghost. The small creature was growing, not in size, but in presence. Its fur shimmered faintly under dim lights, like silver dust floating through air. When Aaron touched it, static energy prickled at his fingertips. Once, when he dropped the data pad, Ghost stared at it, and the screen turned on by itself. That couldn't be normal. Aaron ran tests in secret, using his console's lowest power mode. Ghost DNA still couldn't be read. The scanners froze every time. Even the AI, Vera, had stopped commenting on his missing biological logs. Almost like she was afraid to. It was during a night patrol shift that everything changed. Cadets were assigned to monitor the ship's outer hull cameras. It was supposed to be boring. Nothing ever happened out there. But halfway through Aaron's shift, alarms began flashing red. Unidentified signals approaching. Impact alert. The deck lights dimmed. Outside the windows, streaks of light appeared. Small, fast, moving toward the ship. "Drones," someone said. "Pirate class." Dozens of them. Black metal spheres with red lights, swarming like insects, drilling toward the hull. The ship shuddered. Sirens screamed. Instructors shouted orders as defense turrets deployed. The air crackled with static. The cadets rushed to their stations. Aaron followed, heart pounding. But deep down he felt it, that strange pull, the same one he'd felt when Ghost howled. The pirates' attack was fast. Too fast. They had hacked into the Solstice's shield grid, disabling sections from the outside. Explosions echoed through the corridors. Panels sparked. The ship tilted. Containment breach in Sector B. Vera's voice shouted, "Evacuate all cadets." Sector B, Aaron's dorm. Without thinking, Aaron ran. The others yelled after him. But he didn't stop. Smoke filled the hallways. The lights flickered between red and dark. He slid through closing doors, jumped over debris, and reached the dorm wing. The air was full of dust and the smell of burnt metal. His room door was half melted. He forced it open. "Ghost!" he shouted. The creature was there, standing in the middle of the room, fur bristling, eyes glowing white. A faint hum surrounded it, like energy vibrating through the air. Aaron took a step forward. "Come on, we have to go." Then he saw the drones. 3 of them, floating in the doorway behind him, red lights pulsing. Target acquired. One of them hissed in a synthetic voice. They aimed their weapons. Aaron froze, knowing he couldn't fight them. Ghost moved first. A sound ripped through the air, low and deep, like thunder tearing the sky. The wolf leaped, faster than a human eye could track. Its paws struck the floor, and a shock wave of light burst outward. The drone shattered midair, metal turning to dust before they even hit the ground. Aaron staggered back, shielding his face from a flash. When it faded, only silence remained. The walls were scorched, the floor cracked. Ghost stood at the center, breathing heavily, eyes glowing silver like twin stars. Aaron's mouth went dry. What was that?" Ghost turned toward him, its gaze calm, intelligent, almost human. And then a voice entered Aaron's mind. Not from the speakers, not from the ship, from inside. "They came for me." Aaron stumbled back. You can talk?" "Not like you do. Mind to mind." "They will come again." Before Aaron could speak, Vera's voice returned, sharp, alarmed. "Energy anomaly detected in Sector B. Unknown source. Cadets, alas. Report your location immediately." Aaron's throat tightened. "Vera, it's not." "Stay where you are. Security units are inbound." Ghost growled, low and warning. "Aaron." The voice echoed again in his head. "They will take me, and they will take you too." The sound of boots came down the hall. Soldiers shouting, drones scanning. Aaron made his choice. He grabbed Ghost by the scruff and ran. He darted through maintenance shafts, past broken panels and steam vents. The ship's alarms echoed everywhere. Vera's voice followed, trying to lock doors, but Ghost somehow kept them open, panels flickering as they passed. "Ghost, what did you do to those drones?" Aaron gasped. "Defended. It is my purpose." "Your purpose?" he whispered. "What are you?" The wolf didn't answer. But in its eyes, Aaron saw something. Not anger, not fear. Memory. Old. Ancient. Like it had seen stars born and die. They reached the service elevator. Aaron forced it open. The lower decks were in chaos. Fires, smoke, shouting. Cadets and officers rushed to escape pods. No one noticed a small wolf in Aaron's arms. He ducked into a side corridor, panting, trying to think. Then the ship trembled again, a massive impact. The lights went out. For a moment, everything was darkness. And in that darkness, Ghost's eyes blazed silver, casting light like twin moons. "They know now," Ghost's voice said in his head. "They will hunt us." Aaron looked down at the creature, heart pounding, fear replaced by something else. Determination. "Then let them come," he said quietly. "We'll find out why they're so afraid." Ghost tilted its head. Its tail flicked once, not fear but approval. Outside, the alarms faded, replaced by silence and drifting smoke. The ship had survived, barely. But from that night on, whispers spread through the academy. Some said a ghost saved them. Others said a weapon woke up. Only Aaron knew the truth, and he wasn't telling anyone, because the creature he'd found on a dead world wasn't just alive. It was awake. The solstice was quiet again. Too quiet. 3 days had passed since the pirate attack, and the ship floated in repair orbit around a small red dwarf star. Smoke scars still lined the metal hull. Entire decks were sealed off. Cadets whispered about the battle, but mostly about what came after. A burst of unknown energy. Drones disintegrated midair. Power restored instantly. Some said the captain had covered it up. Others claimed the ship's AI had turned on them. Aaron Salas said nothing. He kept his head down, avoiding questions and scanners alike. Ghost stayed hidden, sleeping in a storage duct behind his quarters. The creature barely ate now. Sometimes it paced, restless, like it was listening to something far away. Aaron didn't know what scared him more, the silence after the attack, or the way Ghost's eyes seemed to glow brighter every day. That morning, Aaron was summoned to the command deck. The message came through his wrist console, sealed, high priority. When he entered, the room felt colder than usual. The captain, a tall woman with gray hair and eyes sharp as steel, stood near the main holo display. Beside her was Instructor Harlan, and behind them, a holographic figure shimmered. The ship's AI, Vera. "Cadet Salas," the captain said. "You were in Sector B during the drone breach." "Yes, ma'am." "Reports say you were unharmed, while others nearby were injured or worse." Aaron kept his voice steady. "I was lucky." The captain watched him for a long time. "Luck," she said softly, "isn't measurable, but energy readings are. You were at the center of an event that broke every known law of physics. The question is, why?" Aaron didn't answer. Harlan stepped forward, holding a datapad. "We reviewed logs from your quarters. Your biological scans are incomplete. You disabled security sensors. And when we ran DNA residue analysis," he paused, eyes narrowing, "we found traces of something impossible." Aaron's breath caught. "Impossible?" "Ancient," Harlan said. "Pre-galactic war. Earth origin." The captain folded her hands behind her back. "Do you have anything you'd like to tell us, Cadet?" Aaron forced himself not to look at Vera's glowing image. He couldn't risk revealing Ghost. "No, ma'am," he said. The captain studied him a moment longer, then sighed. "Very well. You're confined to quarters until further notice. No contact, no data access. Dismiss." He saluted, turned, and walked out, but his mind was already racing. They had found traces of Earth DNA. That meant they were closer than ever. He needed answers, and fast. Back in his room, Aaron locked the door and whispered, "Ghost, come out." From the duct, the small wolf stepped into view, silent as smoke. Its fur shimmered faintly, eyes bright and ancient. "They know," Aaron said. "They found something." Ghost tilted its head. "They found a fragment, but they do not understand it." "Then tell me," Aaron said. "Were you really?" For a long time, the creature was silent. Then its voice came again, not through sound, but through thought. "You know the name, Wolf. But that was never all we were." It stepped closer, placing its paw on Aaron's wrist console. The screen flickered. Symbols filled the display. Old, human letters. Lines of data scrolled too fast to read. "There's a memory inside this ship," Ghost said. "A hidden archive. You must open it." Aaron frowned. "The ship's memory core? That's restricted. It holds the truth. About Earth. About us. About why they fear you." The air around them felt heavy. The lights dimmed slightly. Aaron's heart raced. He nodded. "Show me." They moved through the lower decks, under dim emergency lights. Ghost led the way, silent, tail low. Aaron carried a stolen access card he'd swiped from a maintenance room. Every step echoed like a secret too loud to keep. They reached the data core, a vast chamber of glowing blue pillars. The hum of stored knowledge filled the air. The room was forbidden to cadets, but Aaron didn't care. He slid the access card. The door opened with a low hiss. Inside, hologram shimmered. Maps, history logs, sealed files. The name caught his eye immediately. Project Lupus Prime, restricted/level Omega. His hands trembled as he opened it. The display unfolded, line by line. Ghost stood beside him, eyes fixed on the projection. The file read, Earth Defense Program. Initiated year 2487. Objective, bioengineer sentient guardians protect human colonies from extinction-level threats. Result, wolves bonded telepathically with humans. Enhanced strength, perception, and neural defense fields. Status, terminated after Council Order 9. All subjects destroyed. Aaron stared at the screen in disbelief. You were created to protect us, he whispered. To protect humans. Ghost's voice filled his mind, calm but heavy with sorrow. We were loyal, but they feared our power. They called us monsters. They erased our world and your history with it. Aaron clenched his fists. Then that's what happened to Earth. It wasn't destroyed by war or plague. They wiped it out to erase you. To erase us, Ghost corrected softly. You carry our link, Aaron Salas. That is why I found you. What do you mean? Our bond was written in your kind's code, a remnant in human DNA. That is why we survived in you. Aaron's knees felt weak. So I'm part of this forgotten bond? You are its echo, Ghost said, and now the echo wakes. Before Aaron could reply, alarms blared again. Unauthorized access detected in data core, Vera's voice warned. Security en route. Aaron grabbed Ghost. We have to go now. The wolf's eyes flared silver. The door burst open, and time seemed to slow. Armed guards flooded the hall, shouting. Ghost growled, light building around its form. They will not stop us, Ghost said. Aaron's heart pounded. Then let's make them remember. They vanished into blinding light. Human and wolf, bonded by a secret the galaxy had tried to bury. But the truth had been found, and once truth wakes, it never sleeps again. Red lights pulsed through the data core as alarms screamed. Security guards rushed toward the chamber, their boots pounding against the steel floor. Aaron's heart hammered in his chest. He grabbed Ghost by the scruff. We need to go. The small wolf's eyes flared silver. Energy shimmered around them. Faint, flickering waves like heat in the air. Follow me. Ghost's voice echoed in Aaron's mind. Together, they ran. The data core doors slammed shut behind them, sealing with a heavy metallic hiss. Blaster fire echoed in the corridor. Aaron ducked as a plasma bolt scorched the wall beside his head. Sparks flew. The smell of burnt metal filled the air. Stop them, someone shouted. They've breached level Omega. Ghost leapt ahead, its paws silent on the floor. It moved faster than any creature Aaron had ever seen. Graceful, precise, almost like light itself bent around it. When the next plasma shot came, it hit the wolf's energy field and vanished into harmless smoke. Aaron ran harder, lungs burning. The corridors of the solstice twisted like a maze, every passage sealed by the ship's AI. Vera's voice followed them through the speakers, no longer calm, but cold. Cadet Salas, you are in violation of Galactic Command security. Surrender immediately. Not a chance. Aaron shouted, darting through another door. You cannot escape. Every path is closed. Ghost turned its head slightly as they ran. She is lying. I can feel the open paths. You can feel them? Aaron gasped. The ship speaks to me. I was made to protect ships like this, long ago. They reached an intersection where drones hovered, blocking their way. Red eyes flashed. Target acquired. The drones intoned. Ghost fur bristled. The air filled with a low hum that grew into a deep, vibrating sound. Aaron clutched his ears as the pressure built. Then Ghost howled. The sound wasn't just noise. It was force. The drones shuddered, cracked, and burst apart like glass under invisible pressure. Aaron stared in disbelief. You just defended you, Ghost said simply. Smoke filled the hallway. Aaron and Ghost slipped through the haze, heading toward the lower decks, the launch bays. Meanwhile, on the command deck, Captain Rhea watched the chaos through holographic feeds. Where are they now? She demanded. Heading toward the hangar, Instructor Harlan replied. We've sealed all exits, but... Vera's voice cut in. Captain, the creature's energy field is disrupting sensors. It is rewriting the ship's defense grid. The captain's eyes widened. Rewriting? Yes. It's using the ship like a living extension of itself. Rhea cursed under her breath. Send in every unit we have. I want them alive. Both of them. Aaron and Ghost reached the maintenance tunnels. The air was thick and hot, engines thrumming beneath their feet. Aaron could feel the ship shaking, whether from damage or pursuit. He couldn't tell. He stopped, panting. They're everywhere. We'll never make it to the hangar. Ghost stood still, for glowing faintly in the dim light. There's another way. What way? Through the vent shafts. Direct route to the emergency bay. Aaron blinked. That's impossible. Those vents are too small. Ghost looked back at him. Not for me, and if you trust me, not for you either. Before Aaron could ask what that meant, Ghost pressed its paw to the metal floor. The panels shimmered and then dissolved into light. A tunnel appeared below, glowing faint blue. Aaron hesitated. You just open a door through the floor. I open a memory. Ghost said, this ship was built with ancient code. Same as me. Aaron took a deep breath. Fine. Lead the way. They dropped into the tunnel. The air shimmered with energy. It wasn't metal anymore. It was smooth and warm, like light made solid. They moved through it fast, floating as if the ship itself carried them forward. For a moment, Aaron forgot his fear. He felt weightless, connected to something far bigger. He could hear distant echoes, like voices, not human but not alien either, whispering in time with Ghost's heartbeat. What is this place? He asked softly. This is the old network, Ghost replied, where ship minds were born, before the Council changed them. Before the Council raised Earth? Ghost didn't answer, but the silence was heavy enough to tell him everything. They emerged into the emergency hangar, a massive chamber lined with small shuttlecraft. Red warning lights flashed overhead. The bay doors were sealed. Aaron rushed to the control panel and began typing. Come on, come on. The system denied access. Launch clearance required. Vera! Aaron shouted toward the ceiling. Let us go. The AI's voice filled the room, colder than ice. You carry something dangerous. Cadet! It does not belong among the stars. Aaron clenched his fists. Then you should have left it alone. Ghost stepped forward, for sparking with energy. Its voice echoed across the hangar, deeper now, more commanding. Vera, you were born from the same code as I. Stand down. For the first time, the AI hesitated. I know that voice. Then remember it. Ghost said, I am not your enemy. I am your origin. Silence filled the room. The red lights turned white. The bay doors unlocked with a heavy groan. Aaron grinned in disbelief. You did it. But before they could reach the shuttle, a platoon of guards entered from the upper platform, rifles raised. Freeze! Aaron's breath caught. Ghost. I will handle this, Ghost said calmly. The wolf leapt and light exploded. The air shimmered like shattered glass. Every guard was thrown backward, unharmed but unconscious. When the light faded, Ghost stood in the middle of the hangar, for smoking faintly, eyes like burning moons. Go, it said. Now. Aaron dashed to the shuttle, starting the engines. Ghost jumped in beside him. The hangar doors opened to the stars. As they lifted off, Vera's voice whispered softly, not cold this time, but almost warm. Run, Cadet Salas. The truth has waited long enough. The shuttle shot into the void, engines blazing, vanishing into the dark sea of stars. And behind them, the solstice trembled, as if something ancient inside it had. Stars streaked past the shuttle like silver rain. Aaron sat in the pilot's chair, hands trembling on the controls. The ship rattled under his grip. Old, unarmed, not built for speed. Behind them, the massive silhouette of the solstice faded into darkness. For a moment, there was peace. Only the hum of the engines and the faint breathing of the wolf beside him. Ghost lay near the viewport, its fur dim now, eyes half closed. It looked tired, weaker than before. Aaron wanted to ask if it was all right, but he knew the answer. Whatever power Ghost had used back there, it had cost him. You saved us, Aaron whispered. Ghost's voice touched his mind, softer than before. We are not safe yet. They will come. Aaron looked at the scanner. You mean the Academy? Not just them. The Council. The Galactic Council? Aaron's stomach turned. Why would they care? Because they remember what I am. Minutes later, alarms blared again. The scanner flashed red. 3 ships appeared on the radar. Sleek, fast, and unmistakably military. The symbol on their hulls made Aaron's blood run cold. The Council seal, a star within a claw. They found us already? he said. How? Ghost stood, fur rising, eyes glowing faintly. I am a beacon to them. My energy calls across space. Aaron clenched his jaw. Then I'll jam the signal. You can't, but you can survive it. The comm crackled. A voice came through, smooth, calm, and cruel. This is Commander Varek of the Council Fleet. Cadet Aaron Salas, you are in possession of classified property. Power down your vessel and surrender the creature. You will not be harmed. Aaron stared at the radio. His throat felt dry. You'll destroy it the moment I do. That creature, Varek said, is an Earth weapon, a danger to every living world. Humanity buried its past for a reason. Don't dig it up again. Ghost growled softly, a low, electric sound that made the panels vibrate. Aaron swallowed. If it's a weapon, then why did it save me? Varek's tone sharpened. Because it's manipulating you, just like it did to the old world before Earth burned. Aaron cut the comm. He's lying, he said quickly. Ghost said nothing, but its eyes burned brighter, and that was all the answer he needed. The Council ships fired. Bolts of plasma streaked across space. The shuttle shook violently. Aaron gritted his teeth, pulling the ship into a sharp dive. Warning lights flared red. They'll tear us apart, he shouted. Trust me, Ghost said. The wolf leapt to the console, paws landing on the control board. The lights flickered. The engine screamed, and suddenly the stars blurred, bending like liquid metal. Were we in slip space? Aaron gasped. For a moment, Ghost said, I can bend the void, but only once more. The shuttle tore through the stars, leaving a trail of light behind. When they dropped back into normal space, a broken planet hung below them, a dead world of black rock and ice. Aaron checked the coordinates. The system's abandoned. No life signs. Ghost's voice came, quiet and distant. It was once a human colony. They called a haven. Aaron looked down at the frozen surface. Why here? Because this is where the others fell. The others? My kind, the rest of the pack. They landed in the ruins of an old outpost. The metal towers were twisted and burned. Snow blew through shattered domes. Aaron wrapped himself in a thermal jacket and stepped out, Ghost padding beside him. Every sound echoed in the emptiness. This place is dead, Aaron whispered. No, Ghost said. It sleeps. They reached what looked like a massive crater. Ghost stopped, sniffing the air, and lowered its head. Here, it said. The ground began to glow, faint blue lines spreading outward like veins. Aaron stared as shapes emerged from the ice. Bones. Machines. Something in between. Are those? Wolves, Ghost said softly. The last of my kind. Aaron felt his chest tighten. You weren't the only one. No, but I'm the last awake. Before Aaron could speak, a shadow fell across the snow. The Council ships had found them. Engines roared overhead. Searchlights pierced the clouds. Ghost fur rose. They come. Aaron drew a breath. Then let's finish this. The first strike came from above. Plasma hit the ground, throwing snow and metal into the air. Aaron dove for cover. Ghost stood tall, light flaring around its body until it burned like a silver sun. The soldiers landed, armored figures, rifles glowing. They surrounded the crater. Stand down, their commander shouted. Hand over the specimen. Aaron stepped forward, heart pounding. He's not a specimen. He's alive. The commander raised his rifle. That thing wiped out entire colonies. You have no idea what it's capable of. Ghost's voice filled the air, deep and resonant now, no longer limited to Aaron's mind. You fear what you do not understand. The soldiers froze. The wolf's body began to shift, bones lengthening, muscles rippling under silver fur. It grew taller, broader, a living storm of light and sound. Its eyes blazed white as lightning. Aaron shielded his face from the brightness. The commander stumbled backward, shouting, "Fire!" But before they could shoot, Ghost moved. Faster than sight, faster than thought. Energy rippled outward like a wave. The snow rose into the air. The ground cracked, and every weapon shattered. The soldiers were thrown aside but unharmed, as if the power had spared them on purpose. When the light faded, Ghost stood in the center of the crater, enormous, majestic, silent. The stars reflected in its fur like fire and water. Aaron stared, awestruck. "You're not just a guardian," he whispered. "You're a legend." Ghost looked at him, and for the first time it smiled. A legend forgotten. Until now. Above them, the remaining council ship turned to flee, but Ghost raised its head and howled. The sound traveled through space itself, shaking the stars. And far, far away, across countless systems, something ancient heard the call and answered. Snow still fell on the dead world of Haven. But now the silence was gone. The air trembled with echoes. Faint at first, then stronger, the sound of something ancient waking. Aaron stood beside Ghost in the crater, staring up at the sky. The last council ship had fled. The soldiers were gone, retreating into orbit to report what they had seen. A creature that shouldn't exist, a power that refused to die. Ghost first shimmered silver under the pale light. Energy rippled faintly across its body, like a heartbeat made of starlight. Aaron looked at it with awe and worry. "You're hurt," he said. "I am whole," Ghost replied softly. "But the signal is spreading. They will come." "Who will come?" Aaron asked. Ghost turned its gaze toward the horizon. The others. Hours passed. The frozen wind carried whispers, sound that weren't wind at all. Low, distant howls rolled across the ice, one after another, overlapping like waves. Aaron shivered. "They're answering you," he whispered. "They hear the call," Ghost said, "after centuries of silence." Aaron looked around the crater, where the bones of fallen wolves still rested. Now, faint blue light pulsed within those remains. One spark at first, then another and another. "Ghost," Aaron breathed. "They're moving." "The pack remembers," Ghost said. "Their code was never erased, only sleeping, waiting for the bond to return." Aaron's heart pounded. "The bond?" "You," Ghost said simply. "You woke it." Before Aaron could reply, the ice cracked. Blue light poured upward from the ground. Shapes emerged, metallic, organic, alive. Wolves of silver and shadow, each with eyes burning gold, stepped out of the ice and snow. Dozens of them, then hundreds. Aaron stumbled back in awe. "They're real, all of them. They were always real," Ghost said. "Forgotten but never gone." Above them, the clouds parted. A council fleet filled the sky. Dark ships, bristling with weapons, descending like a storm. "Ghost," Aaron said, "we can't fight that many." "We do not run," Ghost replied. "Not anymore." The other wolves looked to him, their leader, their voice. A low growl rolled through the air as their formation shifted. Their bodies pulsed with light, forming patterns, a network of glowing lines stretching across the ice, connecting one to another like living circuitry. Ghost stood at the center. "Humans once made us to protect them," he said. "Now we protect the truth." Aaron stepped forward, voice shaking but strong. "Then I'm fighting too." Ghost looked at him, a hint of pride in his eyes. "You already are." The first strike came from orbit. A plasma beam tore through the clouds, slamming into the ground. The wolves moved as one, leaping, howling, forming a shield of light that bent the beam away. The energy reflected into the sky, striking one of the council ships. It exploded in a flash of fire and ice. The rest of the fleet opened fire, raining bolts of blue energy. The wolves ran across the frozen plain, their movements synchronized, graceful, unstoppable. Every step left trails of light that shaped new barriers, new weapons. Aaron could feel the hum of their power through the ground. He wasn't just watching, he was connected. Every heartbeat matched theirs. He could see flashes in his mind, not his memories, but there's earth forests, old battles, human laughter beside firelight. He felt it, the bond. Ghost's voice filled his head. "Do you see now? We were never your weapons. We were your companions, your guardians, your pack." Tears stung Aaron's eyes. "Then let's remind them who humans really are." He climbed the edge of the crater and activated the old comm beacon. The ancient tower sputtered to life, its signal pulsing across the void. He sent a message on every open frequency. To anyone out there, this is Cadet Aaron Salas of the Solstice. Earth's guardians are alive. The wolves have returned. The Council fleet hesitated. Across the galaxy, that signal spread. And on far-off worlds, forgotten colonies, dusty outposts, abandoned stations, something began to stir. In old storage bays, machines hummed to life. In distant data cores, forgotten code awoke. And deep within the AI systems of human ships, voices whispered, not words, but howls. Ghost raised his head to the stars and howled again. The other wolves followed, their voices blending into one great chorus that reached beyond Haven, beyond the fleet, beyond the galaxy itself. For the first time in centuries, the universe heard the sound of Earth. The Council ships broke formation. Some fled, others powered down, their systems going dark as their own AIs responded to call. Vera's voice, faint but clear, echoed through the comm. Aaron, the pack is not only flesh. We are code, we are memory, and we are awake. Aaron smiled through the tears. Welcome back. The sky flared white. Ghost stepped beside Aaron, towering now, its silver for glowing brighter than any star. The Council will hide again, Ghost said. They always do. But the truth is out. The bond is reborn. Aaron nodded. What happens now? Ghost looked at the horizon where the first rays of dawn pierced the clouds. Now, humanity remembers what it once was. The wolves gathered around them, eyes shining like suns. Together, they watched as the sky brightened. A light not of war, but of return. Ghost turned his head to Aaron and spoke one last time. You woke the pack, Aaron Salas. The galaxy will change because of that. Tell them we are coming home. Aaron smiled faintly. Then let's go home, Ghost. The wolf lowered its head. Home was never lost, only forgotten. The ground trembled, the ice split open, and beams of light shot into the heavens as the wolves took flight. Hundreds of glowing shapes racing across the sky, howling into eternity. The legend of Earth had returned to the stars, and this time it would never be forgotten again.